Well, it is the end of TSM's week for week 4 here at the LCS, joined right now by Yellowstar. Yellowstar, you had like a very strange weekend. You know, we were going to do this interview yesterday, and then you were kind of like, I'm not really feeling it because yesterday's game was kind of strange. Today's game was also really strange. You almost, there were times where it looked like Renegades might win one of the weaker teams. What is going on with TSM? Why are you unable to win games confidently?
Since I joined TSM, like we had a lot of up and downs, so it's really hard to tell which TSM is going to show up today or in one day. So that's why we need to work on our consistency. And I felt like this week especially, we had like some confidence issue or trust issue, and we definitely need to work together and build this confidence where we can basically just do one move and then everyone is going to follow you, even though it's a wrong call, even though it's not going to work. But we need to start somewhere, and I really think that it really showed us that we really need to build this trust, else it's not gonna go anywhere. And we agreed on a lot of default, and I think that's why from now on we'll grow way faster.
I mean, you talk about people just listening to a call and going for it, even if it might not be the best call. I mean, you on Fnatic were known as this, epic shot caller. Are you also the shot caller on TSM right now?
We're Everyone is a part of the shot call. So shot calling is not one person. You have to rely on one person, because if you rely on someone like heavily, then if that guy has somewhat a day where he doesn't feel like it, then you're gonna just lose. Like, let's say Cloud9 was at high,
Yeah.
and we don't want to fall into that team that is just completely lost without one guy. So everyone definitely has a role in that, and as long as everyone knows what he has to do, his own role, and what he has to say to communicate, it's way easier to make a one voice call for the last word. And this is where I this is what I do most likely.
So, I mean, were you say that you don't want to have a situation where there's like so much dependency on one person as the main shot caller, but wasn't that the case with Fnatic? I mean, so many people thought that was the case, right?
I was the major voice, so it doesn't mean that I have to micromanage everyone, because everyone knew basically what he had to do. So, for example, the top laner knew what to control his lane, when he could TP, when he had the advantage. Same for mid lane, and then we would just talk like for the macro strategy. And this is what I should tell, like, okay, we're gonna play around that, this is the next objective. And then everyone knew what he had to do. Okay, we're gonna take this specific path, and then everyone knew what he had to do. And here, sometimes as we're a new team, we all come from different background, different play styles. It's really hard, because you're gonna have this tendency to say, okay, we're gonna play toward this, and then everyone has a different um, thought, thoughts, and we're gonna just like not going at the same times, going to do. We're gonna skip some steps, and it's going to be a mess. So we definitely need to detail more, and this is why we're not on the same page right now.
Yeah, do you think that it was almost an advantage for you on Fnatic last year when you kind of had all these new rookies and you could just sort of be the experienced guy, whereas it's kind of different on TSM where you have a lot of people with, their own personalities, their own egos, their own thoughts, and all these experiences. It's kind of a different situation, right?
Well, it's a new experience. To be honest, everyone is easy to work with, but at the same time, we need to just basically detail everything. So everyone is on the same page, and then we're gonna set default, and everyone is gonna follow it. And then, only then, the execution is gonna be way easier. But it takes time, because we have old habits, we have tendencies from the old teams, and everyone works differently, everyone thinks differently. So we still need more time, and definitely we need to work harder, because we cannot afford to just improve at this pace when everyone is just improving so much faster.
Now, on the analyst desk, Doublelift made an interesting statement about there being a bug which allowed the Renegades bot lane to get to level 2 before you guys. I think he's since on Twitter posted that it wasn't a bug, or he realized that it's actually just kind of a creative exploit or something along those lines around how You can kind of minion block a little bit. Do you have any thoughts on this? I mean, it sounds like you guys haven't had a chance to talk too much about it, but do you find that annoying? Do you think it's interesting? Any thoughts?
I actually have seen it in a replay from Korea. So in LCK, a team did it, and I actually remembered that, but after the game. So I was a bit confused at first because I was like, "Whoa, what happened? Our minions just randomly died before theirs," and I was a bit surprised. And we were like, "Okay, then we have to let it go." But it was actually, I mean, if it's in the game, then you can play it, you can play with it. I mean, it's allowed, and I think it's a bit unfair because some might know this exploit, others don't, and he's gonna give the advantage to someone else. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because they didn't win the game. So it was not game changing in the end, but it could have been. And this is something that is a bit annoying, but now we know it, and it's not gonna happen twice.
Now, what has it been? I ask this question so much, and I think a lot of people might even get annoyed with how much I ask it, but I feel like it's still really fascinating because you have made a pretty big change moving from Europe to LA and adapting to all this. Has there been any change? Has it been odd for you? Has it been hard to adapt, or do you enjoy it a lot here? I mean, generally, what has the move been like for you now that you've been here for over a month?
So every year is a new challenge, and I really wanted to try at least 1 year here. And looking at the team, and I am still really excited of what we can accomplish. And I'm going to try my best and give everything to make it work. And my goal has never changed. I always want to be the best and make my team become better. So we're all just going to work together and achieve what we want to.
Do you talk to Huni and Rainover at all?
Yeah, I meet them every week at the LCS. They are not living that far from us. I sometimes see them at the gym, so we're still like talking to each other, and it's really fun.
That's good. So all good friends. Is there any kind of part of you that's like envious or frustrated that they're now the 8-0, like the Fnatic legacy seems to have been stuck with them, and you are having very strange games?
Not really. I'm really happy for them that everything works really well for them. At the same time, I would like for us in the end, like that is going to work. I wish everyone to be like happy and having success, but at the same time, it's really frustrating where you expect to have high expectations, and in the end, you struggle. But I believe that with work and with patience, everything is gonna come on time. And I'm that kind of guy that believes and is really positive, so we just keep working.
What are the chances of a TSM Immortals finals at spring playoffs at the end of the split?
Well, for now, we can all say that Immortals is going to be in the finals for sure, from looking at how they play. And now it's our turn to prove that we deserve to be next to them, facing each other.
Is there anything you would like to say to the fans or TSM fans out there or Yellowstar fans?
Yeah, thank you everyone that are supporting me, even though it's been a rough time. We've been going through a rough time. Like I always get a ton of message, a ton of support, encouraging me to do better. And even though I've not been playing to my best level, I will make sure to become the best again.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. Really appreciate it. Good to finally chat with you after your move here. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things League of Legends at GameSpot.com/LOL.